Now similar to a while loop, let's see how a for loop works and how you could iterate through a while loop. Now in the simplest form, let's say we got a variable, say count, and let's start this with 0, and we can say while count is less than 10. Now in case you have a single statement, we don't need any braces, and we would increment here itself. So what we've done here is initialized a variable, put on a counter on this, so this iterates. So as long as this condition it returns true, the loop will continue running. So as soon as the count becomes equal to 10, the loop closes and we get the statement which is outside the loop. So the only thing to check out here is that this can have any expression, but the net result should always conclude to a Boolean value. So as long as it concludes to a Boolean value, however we get it, the loop is perfectly fine. So let's see what output we get in this case. So as expected, it will be 0 to 9, and then we have outside the loop. Now what happens if I make a small change? I say while count is equal to 5 less than 10, print this. Now what happens in this case is that every time while runs, count gets initialized to 5, and since 5 is always less than 10, this will continue infinitely. So as you can see, it continues to print 5. Since this is always initialized to 5, even though it is incremented here, but reinitialized to 5, and 5 continues to be less than 10, so this loop runs infinitely. What if I don't want this? I still need to run an infinite loop. So if you still need to run an infinite loop, you can't keep this blank as you did for a for loop, but you need to write some Boolean value. So if I say while true, so this is an infinite loop, and then as soon as I make this loop infinite, this is a statement which is not reachable. So I need to comment this. So this is how you write a infinite while loop. Simply put on true here, so the condition is always true. This will continue on running. We'll have to forcefully stop this. So this is how you write a infinite for loop for infinite for loop. Now another thing here is that you cannot initialize any variable within the while loop. So in case I say int y is equal to 4 less than, say, some value, so as you can see, it doesn't allow you to initialize any variable within the while loop. So this is how while works. I can say a smaller sibling of a for loop. For loop has much more options to do, but for a while you simply have a condition, and you could do as much as you can do within the while loop. In case you have more than a statement, put on braces. So this is what is the body of the for loop. So you could write multiple statements that belong to a for loop, but you need to put on braces for this. Now another another type of, or rather a while loop, is the do while. Now do something while you have a condition. So we can say while count is not equal to 3, we print something. I just missed out the semicolon. Yeah. So we'll say, so now we have a do part, and then we have the condition. So the only difference with while is that in case of while, if the condition is not true, the loop may not run even once. But for a do while, as you can see, the condition is checked after the do is run. So the loop will run at least once in do while. So in case even the condition is not true, so I can say while count not equal to 3, while count is greater than or equal to 3. So the count is not greater than 3. So the condition is false at the first chance. But even then, the do will run, will get an output, and it will stop after the first output. So the loop still runs even though the check says that it fails at the first chance. So let's give it a chance to run some iterations. So count is less than 3, is still less than 3, it is still less than 3. So it runs for count equal to 0, count equal to 1, count equal to 2, and then when it finally becomes 3, the loop breaks. So the difference between while and do while is that while the while loop may not even run once in case the condition is not true, the do while will still run for one iteration even when the condition is not true. So this is how you could use while and do while. In case you don't feel too convenient running with the for, you can use a while.